Now, let's focus our attention on requirements management phase. This phase, represented in the center of the TOGAF crop circle, like all other phases, encapsulates a set of activities that are independent of the other phases. And yet, unlike all other phases, this phase both continually influences and is influenced by other phases of the ADM. This continual interactive nature of this phase with all other phases of ADM cycle sets it apart from other phases and earns it a central place within the TOGAF crop circle. Let's begin the exploration of this phase by understanding what an architecture requirement is. According to TOGAF, a requirement is a quantitative statement of business need that must be met by an architecture or a work package. Techniques described in this course, such as business scenario analysis and capability-based planning exercises, typically form a rich source of business and architecture requirements. Requirements typically start their life as simple statements, which progressively gets clarified and elaborated as the ADM wheel spins and the work gets progressed through the phases of ADM. In this section, we will explore through a real-life example involving WebFirst and see how the requirements evolve as architecture work progresses through the ADM cycle. For our example, we will use a scenario where WebFirst decides to completely modify how they approach the sales of banking products and services online. Let's assume that the vision stage starts with the following high-level architecture requirements among other requirements. As an end customer, I want banking services to be squarely oriented towards my needs and aspirations. And the annotation for this requirement goes like this. WebFirst, by conservative estimates, currently offers more than 1,000 different products and services to its customers across various customer segments, which includes consumers, small businesses, as well as large corporates. The current requirements comes from the bank's vision and desire to reconfigure its service offerings to directly align to the customer's needs and aspirations, as opposed to the current situation where all of the services are offered around banking products which have names such as Flexi Saver Account, Everyday Saver Accounts, hassle-free credit cards, and so forth. Although some of the names may seem meaningful to customers, most customers often find it difficult to relate their life circumstances to the various financial and banking products and services being offered. Therefore, WebFirst actively seeks to bridge this gap by talking the language of the customer henceforth. Another high-level requirement that is relevant for our discussion is as follows. As an end customer, I want to access WebFirst's banking services from anywhere and at all times. Now, the high-level target state architecture articulated in the vision state might therefore identify a new capability to the online channel, which is oriented towards this customer-centric journey that the bank wishes its potential customers to be engaged through. Let's say WebFirst ran some initial experiments with some customer groups and identified what it needs to build out. And it decides to call the high-level capability that it needs to build as Customer Engagement Pathway.